Joe Z, play-by-play voice for the Hurricanes, getting rested up a little more than 11 hours from now. Joe, unbelievable what has taken place. Their 3 wins against A&M, Ohio State, and Ole Miss, and here they are with a chance to win another championship. Just an unbelievable year. What's it been like for you?
It's been awesome, Joe. Every game has been tense. Every play has been feels like every play the game is hanging in the balance. It's been a wonderful ride. If we harken back to Mad Dog, he would say you never know when that magic carpet's going to knock on your door. And so we're on this magic carpet ride, trying to come in for a smooth landing tonight against Indiana. It's going to be a hell of a game.
Hey, give me a little bit of the recipe for you. Obviously, the turnover thing is you got to play a clean game, but give me some of the recipe that will allow the Canes as a 7.5-point underdog to have a chance to win this game against Indiana.
You know, I think I might be like every other team that plays Indiana, and you look at them and you say, that's who we're playing? Because they're not that big. You know, you look at Miami, and that's the trap. Miami's got the size and physicality advantage across the board. And it starts with Indiana's defense. Miami, I do think they've got to be able to impose their will, run the ball effectively with Fletcher and Marty Brown. Stay with that recipe. There's no reason to go against that recipe. Indiana's got to prove that they can stand up to Miami's physicality. And then off of that, Carson Beck's going to be flawless in his passing game. Early in the game, though, Joe, Miami's got to take care of the ball. Indiana's had this incredible run of making plays on the first drive so that they get a jump start. They've started 5 games this year with an interception on the first series. Oregon was a pick 6. Ohio State was an interception. Purdue was an interception. UCLA was an interception. Iowa was an interception. 3 of the last 4 on the first series, they've taken the ball away. That gives them confidence and gets them into their identity. So I think the first series, when Miami gets the ball, it's going to be important to have success. First downs, I think, in this game for Miami, drives with first downs will that to me equates to success.
Yeah, those long drives and chewing up time and having Fernando Mendoza watch this game from the sideline instead out on the field. I'm with you. 3 of those in the last game over 7.5 minutes. Those 3 drives are just huge. Hey, so I got to ask you about Fernando Mendoza, one of the great stories, and if not the best story in college football, probably going to be the first overall pick. And he's really good against – I just saw his numbers this morning against the blitz, and yet the Canes like to get after it, man. Not only do they have the 2 maybe best combination of pass rushers in college, but they blitz safeties and nickels, and they bring it all. And he's been so good about it. You think they still get after him tonight, or is it more about a 4-man rush?
I think they'd like to get it done with a 4-man rush, but I also think they'd like to have hit Mendoza harder than he's been hit all season long. And I think that will be the case. And when he does run, we saw last year when he ran in the Cal game, he's a big target. Yeah. He runs upright, holds the ball up by his, chin area. So I think Miami is going to go after him hard. But I think with Corey Heatherman, it always starts with stopping the run, and they are a run-first offense. They ran for 367 against Maryland earlier this season. They've run the ball more. The run has been dominant toward the pass in their postseason. So I think for Miami, it's stop the run, get penetration. Miami runs their stunts and their blitzes, but you got to take away the perimeter throws as well and get Mendoza out of his rhythm, and then be able to rush the passer on third down. But these receivers they're going to face are really good. They've made some great catches during the course of the season. Cooper, Surratt, Charlie Becker. Becker made some incredible catches. Cooper with the catch of the year. E.J. Williams, a transfer from Clemson. He's their deep threat. And Miami's coverage, I thought, was a bit loose at times against Ole Miss.
Yeah, they hopefully they got some guys healthy enough to play at a high level. I'm guessing everybody's going to give it a shot. Everybody wants to play in this game, but Damari Brown, Xavier Lucas, that's a huge one. First half can't play in this game, and O.J. Frederick being back. You expect all those guys second half we could hopefully see them all?
Yeah, I'm going to be. Well, we're going to know the first play of the game who's out there. And if Frederic is out there, and I expect him to be out there, uh, that will be a good sign for Miami and trying to buy time to get to the third quarter and then get Lucas back into the game. But they're going to have minus Lucas. O'Connor has played really good football. If they have got to play with Jabori Antoine at times, then so be it.
Yeah.
He's a freshman four-star who has had a lot of reps in practice. I thought he was a guy that jumped out at me, back in the summer. I think he's, going to be as ready for the moment as he possibly can be. But then I think they can also mix things up with Fitzgerald and Scott and Thomas and Poyser. Some of those guys can be a little bit interchangeable.
Hey, Joe, I did want to ask you about, everybody's been talking. There have been a lot of features on Carson Beck. What's been your take in, will he have to take a bigger role? 23 of 37, 268, 2 touchdowns and a pick against Ole Miss. Could we see more of the passing game down the field?
I think he needs to take whatever role he thinks he needs to play to win the game. And I think that's why he wins games. He understands what his role is in each game. I think there's a reason in his career why he's 37-5 as a starting quarterback. A&M, I'm going to hand the ball off. Ohio State, I got to run my ass off to get that first down.
Right.
Ole Miss, I need to come up with some big throws. I think I equate him to a baseball pitcher who might not have the best ERA or might not have the best fastball, but in the fifth inning, he gets a double play. In the sixth inning, he gets a strikeout. In the seventh inning, he retires on 1-2-3, and your team's in front. He just knows how to win. That being said, he's going to have to make some throws against the secondary. But Indiana, their game is to get pressure with, to force Miami to block moving targets. So Beck's got to put the ball in play. And if that means take the check down, take the check down. If that means 15-play drive, which Indiana would prefer, well, Miami's doing that. Remember, they're hitting Indiana with a left and a right and a left and a right, a jab on those 15-play drives. If they're out there for 88 plays, Indiana's not going to win this game. They don't have enough depth. They don't have enough depth. They've had an injury or two. They don't sub that much, but what they do is play their system to perfection. Joe, you watch their defensive line, and they'll take a defensive tackle, and he will run right at your left tackle. That's his job. He's going to knock the left tackle out of the play so that somebody else can get to the quarterback. They are unselfish, they are mature, and they play their system. So Miami's got to put them in an uncomfortable position.
Joe, I got to ask you, from the middle of the year, and I know I sat here many mornings ago, here we go again, lost to Louisville. You have a chance, even at the end, after all those turnovers, to win. The SMU game, you have big play after big play called back because of penalties, and I go, oh, here we go again. What happened after those two games to the level they've played at? I thought against Pittsburgh they played like they have in these playoffs, but the last 4 or 5 games really turned up. What was the biggest difference you saw where this team finally said, enough, we're really good, let's go show everybody?
Well, I'm going to say that going into the SMU game, that was November, and Miami was still they were struggling with the penalties and so forth and so on going into that game. And I stole a line from Coach L. I remember saying in the pregame, Miami at this point of the season, they're probably not going to run any faster or jump any higher. You have to be smarter than the other team, execute better, and they did not in that game. And after that, they did. I think there was, I don't know if there was some internal discussion, whatever it was. They became a team that had more joy, that played a little bit looser, that executed better, and maybe the play that changed the season. I think it was the Syracuse game. They're kind of stumbling along, and you remember they ran a reverse with Malachi Toney, and he goes to the right side and throws it back to Carson Beck, who dashes into the end zone for a touchdown. And you could just see this gigantic relief and joy with the team. And I think from that point on, everybody has been involved. And now everybody's making a play, Joe. They're not relying on just Carson Beck's arm or Malachi Tony to get loose. It could be a Keontae Scott interception. It could be JoJo Trader makes a catch against Pittsburgh for a first down. It could be Bauman. He makes 3 catches against Pittsburgh. Last week it was Lofton, who's not going to play in this game. Everybody, whoever's number is called, is making a play. Torrey on the goal line. Fitzgerald in the end zone. Jacoby Thomas getting the quarterback on the ground. Everybody, we're concentrating on Fletcher and Bain and Mesidor, but whoever's number has been called, they go into the game and make a play. And so I think that's been the difference.
So you've been doing these games for a long, long time now. You've seen a lot of really good freshmen come right in and play. It's not something brand new to this program. This Malachi Tony story, I mean, it happened for a few games. I find myself Monday morning coming in going, I think Malachi Tony was the best player in the game. I think Malachi Tony might have been the best player in the game. He wasn't even 18 years old there for seemed like half the season before graduating from high school early. Where's he ranked for great freshmen you've seen come through this program?
Well, some of the great freshmen in the past, they didn't always play. I mean, they played, but they weren't the focal point of the team because there were so many other good players. But Malachi Tony is the focal point. So I don't know, in the last 25 years for sure.
It's amazing. It really is.
Right. I mean, I've got to go back to the last time Miami was in the championship against Ohio State. Winslow was a sophomore in that game. So the year before, I think he was running down on special teams, and Sean Taylor couldn't get off the bench, right? He was backing up Ed Reed,
right,
as a freshman.
Yeah. So, no, I'm not talking about some guys that were freshmen that were at some point going to play and be like some of the best to ever play their positions.
So the only other, the other guy that would jump out at you that had a huge impact was Duke Johnson. He was tremendous as a freshman.
Yeah.
But Malachi, I mean, this guy decides your fate, and he can catch it, he can run it, and I've never seen anybody throw it the way he does on the run in terms of, wide receivers and running backs. Everybody has a trick play, and a running back will throw it down the field, and sometimes, it floats down the field, or it's a pass that looks like it's drunk on tequila. But this guy, he throws spirals.
Yeah.
He puts it right. He threw into JoJo Trader right on the left shoulder pad, and I probably didn't mention his importance in this game. For sure, Indiana is going to have a plan for him, and Shannon Dawson's going to have a plan. But Miami probably can't win this game without him affecting it one way or another. A big play. He's had 4 games of over 100 yards. The Ole Miss game, he had 81 yards, 36 on one play. But he's got to get his touches, catching it, running it, and I would not be shocked to see him throw it.
Yeah, I got to tell you, Joe, he's done it all. It's been fun, and he blocks like he's about 240 pounds. He loves to block guys out there. Joe, thank you, man. Really appreciate it. Good luck tonight. Have a great one, man. You guys have earned this through the years to finally have this product again. It's great.
Joe, it might come down to the high school that's in our neighborhood. Of all the big high schools, it might come down to Carter Davis.
Wow, you're right. You're right. Outside of that win in A&M, he has just been unbelievable. You're right, and this could be a big one for him. Joe Z, thank you, brother. Right. Appreciate it. Have a good one. All right.
All right, bye-bye.
Joe Z, play-by-play voice of the Miami Hurricane, joining us this morning. Talk a little bit about